Hey, hey! Welcome to Sunny and Ratchet, your go-to spot for real talk and real laughs with your two favorite hosts who are spilling the tea, but not the wine.
Skies might be big, but the opinions are bigger. This is where you'll find your weekly dose of drama and magic, always served hot and slightly chaotic. I'm the one that likes to tell it like I see it.
And I'm the one who finds the silver lining, even if it's duct taped on.
We're just two women from the Midwest, one the ever optimist, and the other a realist, just trying to keep the train on the tracks.
So if you like gossip, world news, unsolicited advice, and good old-fashioned sarcasm, you're in the right spot.
Is this Sunny and Ratchet? Pull up a chair and let's get into it.
Sunny and Ratchet, we're here to chat. Big and small, we'll chew the fat. The good, the bad, the downright wild. Life uncensored, nothing mild. Every Friday, 6 on the dot. We're serving truth like it's piping hot. Hit that like, subscribe, and vibe. Join our crew, let's come alive.
Hey guys, I'm Sunny.
I'm Ratchet.
And we're going to take another look at Ryan Walters.
Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Yeah, we got going on that, and we talked a long time. So
There was
we
a
decided
lot.
yes. Like I feel it was full of important information.
It was. And seeing his rise and then I feel his fall it was definitely eye-opening. That was
and even since we filmed, there's like stuff happening, right?
Just stay tuned. There may be part 3.
Yeah. Anyways, please enjoy part 2.
Like and subscribe.
Let's recap. We're here today to talk about the evolution of Ryan Walters.
Dun dun dun.
We have this guy that goes from a really inclusive, beloved high school teacher, and then there's this transformation that happens to where he's kind of persecuting different groups and accusing educators of being woke leftists, and
One of us.
he was supportive of the gay-straight alliance.
Which is so weird, knowing how he is now.
Right. He was in favor of teaching about the Tulsa race riot. He taught about the harmful government policies put in place that were hurtful to Native Americans with the Indian Removal Act, 2018, where he met Stitt at a tennis match. After Stitt won, he invited Ryan Walters to be a part of his educational working group. So then in 2019, he's appointed as the executive director of Oklahoma Achieves. COVID hits, changes everything. In September, Stitt appoints Walter as his education secretary. Then in 2021, Oklahoma becomes one of the first states to pass a law prohibiting teachers from offering lessons that suggest students should feel guilt or anguish because of their race. And by that, I mean critical race theory. 2022, Walters wins the Republican primaries for state superintendent.
Dun dun dun.
2023, in January, he steps into office. He is the one that tried to revoke his teacher's license after she was protesting the book bannings by giving students a link to the Boston Public Library. He also pressured the Western Heights District
I remember this one.
to fire an administrator because he participated in drag shows
On nights. On his off time.
He acknowledged his campaign and said it was a referendum on groomers. And what he means by that is he was accusing LGBTQ educators of being rumors.
Mm-hmm.
So a Republican meeting where he talked about the Tulsa race massacre, and he wanted it taught as though it was not racially motivated. I feel like all these districts in Oklahoma keep having to make these publications as to why this stance or this email that's been sent out by the state superintendent does not fit with school policy, and it's not in best interest of the child. So we will not be doing that. So education, we're having trouble with funding, right? And how much money is being spent because people are having to take him to court because of the violation of our rights. In 2024, in June, Walters mandated that school districts had to include the Bible as an instructional support into the curriculum for grades 5 through 12. Bible had to be placed in every classroom. And then he sends this video talking about the Bible and saying a prayer for trauma.
I like that. I was like,
And was insisting that we had to show it. And so then districts are having to release statements as to why they're not going to do that as a violation of students' rights.
the fact of the matter is that I know that he is wanting to pursue higher and bigger politically. And I know in the state that we live in Oklahoma, that it's probably going to happen. At least he's going to get governor, which is sickening. It's sickening. I wish I had more words to describe how much I despise this person without being just,
without just going like straight rant. You can make a little rant video.
I have done it on his immigration tactics because he talks out of both sides of his asses. Because like,
are you saying he's a butt face?
he is. He is.
That's fine.
I mean, I like gingers, but damn, I'm gonna go with that saying that they say like gingers don't have a soul. He doesn't have a soul.
Oh Lord.
But like people talk about, like in January, he did this video about how he doesn't want the immigrants in our schools because they have degraded our schools, they have bankrupted our school system. And then kind of like last month, I think it was like last month or so, he's talking about how he wants to support the immigrants and he needs us to start doing this immigration tactic with, when they're enrolling their kids to find out whether or not the parents are legal or not. But that's not going anywhere.
Let's go into that. So December 2024, there's a lot of anticipation about Trump stepping into office, right? And that's when Ryan Walters announces that this is the end of sanctuary school zone.
Yeah.
So for us in schools, we've never had the issue of trying to report anybody. Our job is to educate and care for children, and that's it, right? He was saying no longer that needs to be reported. He said that knowing the number of children who are not U.S. citizens in Oklahoma would curb the number of undocumented immigrants in the state, which honestly, no, I think it's just going to contribute to the number of uneducated.
Yes.
It's
100%. Like that was in my rant too.
But teaching at a Hispanic school, that created a lot of fear. Families were terrified of ICE coming and raiding the schools and those kinds of things. And schools were having to take a stance of like, trying to reassure parents, like, we are absolutely doing everything we can to protect your kids. We don't have any intentions of you coming and finding out your child's been taken. And just really grieving with the community. And the thing is that they were scared, and as stories keep showing, they were right.
Yeah.
That they would be taken for being Hispanic.
Even
not
U.S. citizens.
Yes, exactly.
Just because of the color of their skin.
Yeah, so even if they're here legally, they were afraid of the persecution and the raids and the trauma that would be around that. So okay, 2025, this is where things really heat up and we see a break between Walters and Stitt.
Yes.
Right? So, January 21st, Donald Trump issued an executive order ending deportation protections at schools and churches. So now he's saying no sanctuary either. Um, then 2 days later, on the 23rd, Ryan Walters tells News Channel 5 that the Oklahoma State Department of Education is going to comply with any executive orders from the Trump administration. And he said that applies to Oklahoma schools and to the children. And then 5 days later, on the 28th, the Oklahoma State Department of Education passes rules requiring parents to give documentation on theirs and their child's citizenship status when they're enrolling in school.
Which is not, you're not going to have as many students. Even if I am here illegally, even if I'm here on a visa, even if I'm here trying to get, all my documents in order, I can honestly say that my kids would not be going to school.
No, like they are terrified.
I'd be terrified.
I did like this last half of this school year. My heart was really breaking and grieving with a lot of terrified families. We had some families that went ahead and moved back to not just Mexico, because it's not Mexico, all kind of the Central American countries. We have kids from all over. We have students whose families were just terrified. They were doing great. They had a life here. They were productive citizens. They moved back because they'd rather face the poverty than the persecution.
Yeah.
I had a child who was in tears and scared because her father got a traffic ticket and he is undocumented. And she said that ICE came to her house and then bribed them, or not bribed them. I can't think of the word, but basically said, if you pay us such and such money in cash right now, yeah, really corrupt, right? Then we won't take you today. Can't make promises about tomorrow. Extortion, is that it?
That's extortion.
Yeah, they extorted these people.
These people are evil. You're fucking evil if you do that shit. You're fucking evil.
Like this is stuff that is really happening right here.
This is
to families that I
our
know.
neighbors. These are our neighbors.
Yes. And it's like, if you work with families in schools, you really get to know the community. And there are kind, hardworking, loving family people, and they are being persecuted and they are terrified.
I'm going to say this, and I said it in my rant too, but Gestapo, excuse me. When they were on trial, them saying I was following orders was not legitimate. It was not a legitimate reason. It's going to be the same damn thing when it comes back around for these ICE agents. Following orders is not going to be a legitimate excuse. It's the reason why you did the things that you did. And you got to live with that. You got to live with the fact that you've torn these families apart. You've got to live with the fact that you were literally perceived as evil. But, that reminds me, because we're on this topic now, with the ICE and everything. I think it's ungodly the fact that these ICE agents are now getting between, and I've read a couple articles, between $10,000 to $45,000 bonus. All of these ICE agents are getting this bonus, but they didn't have the money for our teachers and for our school systems.
Yes, I have had the same thoughts, but it just shows
always
where
been
the
there.
value is. Yes,
The value
is what they value. And I would love to actually circle around to, I personally have opinions that governments use education in a way to keep people down.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than to create a critical thinking populace.
Yeah.
But that'll be a tangent for another day.
That one. Because, I 100% agree, especially with the whole education and how it's going. And states like ours that are already low in the, in the ranking, like, we're not going to be providing anything for our kids.
So really what we just talked about, that was January. right?
That was January.
That was January.
That's January.
And that was like the second half of January when Trump stepped into office. Like, it was a matter of a couple weeks, right? So then in February, Stitt announces that he's replacing 3 members of the Oklahoma State Board of Education and announced his choices for these replacements. And Ryan Walters posted a response to that saying that the governor had joined the swampy political establishment that President Trump is fighting against. So here's where we see the rift between Stitt and Walters.
Go for it.
So that's February 11th. February 12th, during his weekly news conference, Kevin Stitt said that all students should feel safe in Oklahoma schools and that he did not want children to become targets of immigration.
Both sides of the ass.
Well, so this is Stitt, right? He's saying this because Walters is saying, like, he wants to do that. So then he also said that Walters was using students as political pawns.
Yes.
I mean, yes, I feel like the victims here are the students, and it tears me apart. Like,
Yeah.
this is a war on our children.
It is.
So then the next day, February 12th, during his weekly news conference, Kevin Stitt said all students should feel safe. Walter's response is that he says he's backing President Donald Trump's border czar, Tom Homan. And he added that Oklahoma schools would support the Trump administration's efforts to send criminals back to their country of origin.
Criminals.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Like, I think that a lot of conservative people agree that if they are actually criminals, then they've lost their right to be here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
criminals, as in, like, you are being criminal in our country. I don't care if you got a traffic ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's kind of identifying them all
as criminals. And then
that's not what's happening.
And then you've got that crazy, I'm trying to think of a really nice word to say.
Why? You're Ratchet.
I know her name is Anne. I can't remember her last name, but she's a political figure, or she's whatever. She's done a lot of stupid books. But she was talking about how they're going to get rid of all 65 million immigrants, but she didn't say immigrants. I wish I knew exactly what she said, but it was crazy.
Yeah, the terminology that they're using is very
but those are people
it's not neutral. It's very
born here, been citizens for generations. Like, she is claiming that all these people don't need to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is who Trump is aligned with. Walters is aligned with.
Mm-hmm.
And this is who is running our country and our state and our educational system. And I wish I was more educated, I guess, for the simple fact that I mean, I wish I had more ability to express the audacity that I feel like that we're going down. The road is just so fucking crazy.
I think that if you got into all the finer points, our podcast would be all day. It's hard to get to all the nitty gritty, but there is a lot there. There is a lot that could be said.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I know what you mean. Like, I think that sometimes I'm a little frustrated because I feel like I don't have the eloquence I want to have to say what I want to say, because I'll read someone else state something. I'm like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Right? Oh, Lord. Okay, so we're on to the Stitt-Walters drama saga. So let's see. So the next day, the 13th. So we've had the 11th, the 12th, the 13th. This is when the legislative session ends, and it leaves all of that controversy and drama between Stitt and Walters just hanging into the air. And there's one senator, Senate Pro Tem Lonnie Paxton. He said it's time for the two to stop fighting and get back to work, because I'm sure it feels like, for a lot of them, it feels like a show.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about a lot of other things, but I'm going to go ahead and say that, over the summer, July, try and relax. See a mandate that schools have to pay for all school lunches and take it out of the administrative salaries, which it's so wrong for a lot of reasons. Like, for one, we've already had, like, budgets have to be sent to the State Department by June 30th, right? So,
But he didn't do it. Like, Trump didn't send the federal funds.
yes, so we've already got a decrease in funds and trying to figure out how to make that work, right? And then Walters comes in July after this whole deadline has passed, who, as the state superintendent, who should be knowledgeable about the State Department because he's running it, right? He's doing another stunt, right? And it's frustrating a lot of people because that's not practical for a lot of reasons, including, he's accusing administration of having these high, lofty salaries, which we saw it. Even if that were an issue, like the salaries are capped, there's a percentage, like it's something that has been determined by the State Department as to what a fair amount of budget for your administration is. Like that's all regulated already.
It is. And Oklahoma is also one of the least.
Yeah. It's already all regulated by the State Department. And so trying to paint this picture for parents that there's a bunch of corrupt schools out there just wasting money here and there.
Just look at him.
Well, yes, that
his vacations that he's taking.
Like his family, the State Department employees, like these huge bonuses, right? And then he's telling school districts to, take away from what they have to feed every child. And it's wild because one of the things we've done is we have fed all students below a certain poverty point for free using federal dollars that are allocated for that. And now, that's all disappearing and going away. And then it's like the idea is the state's going to pay for that. And then the state passes the buck and says, get rid of people. And by the way, pay for all school lunches. Even the children who have parents who can afford to feed them, he's saying, all children. Because his complaint was formerly, all these lofty lunch bills. Like, I think the last time I looked at the amount, the last time I had a kid charge for a school lunch, maybe 5 years, or not a lunch, a breakfast 5 years ago, it was $1.38. Like, this is not expensive in terms of what you would have to pay to feed your child. Like, it's so impractical.
Wasn't it like a year or two ago, like he declined federal funds?
Oh, yeah, he instead, they declined federal funds, and it's for the summer program. And so they were saying, we believe Oklahomans, want to
take care of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now you have a lot of nonprofits and stuff trying to pull together and feed children during the summer, because that is another thing that a school provides is the cafeterias will prepare meals for needy families that they can come and they can pick up. Usually during summer school is when I see this happen. But we also weren't able to do summer school this year to help struggling students with academics because the funds were not there.
So I know you said June 30th, right? It was when Trump was, I know we're on Walters, but Trump was supposed to have released so much money to the states. Like, I think it was $7 billion, almost $7 billion. He just decided overnight not to send. Has he sent it yet? Because I haven't followed up on that.
That I do not know. I have been trying to stay informed. I go between trying to stay informed and trying to have some peace before school starts.
All right.
Back
got it. We have this edited. We will put that in there.
We'll figure it out. But then, so he does that email that it's like, it's not realistic at all. And it's a stunt because this person who already knows the process, who is the state superintendent and knows what all is going on here and that's not realistic. It's a show for parents. And was it going to affect parents whose kids' lunches weren't already being paid for? So parents who are not in poverty, parents that can afford to pay lunches that don't want to, right? That's who that's going to appeal to. And then matter days later, I tried to erase this mind from my mind for a week so I could just like relax. But he sends this petition to, and keep in mind, I'm seeing both. Like I'm seeing as an educator and I'm seeing as a parent.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this petition now sent out to sign to make this happen, this thing that he said was going to happen. And now there's a petition. And how much money is going to be spent from these school districts and unions that are already shorthanded, who are already trying to figure out how we're going to keep enough staff, how we're going to feed students, how we're going to get the resources we need. Like we have pared down because we just, the ESSER funds for COVID stopped. They ended, was it last year? And so like our staff was reduced down. Like we were one of the smallest. We had one of the smallest cuts and we had to lose 9 positions at our school. So that's like 9 classrooms that can't, that the only thing to do is to expand and grow class sizes because you still have the same amount of kids, right? Like the math isn't mathing.
It's not mathing, especially we could just reiterate the fact that they are giving ICE all these bonuses, but they couldn't help here. They couldn't like say, no, we're going to educate our children. We're going to make sure that this next generation is going to be on top of the world. No, we've got to go with hate.
Right. And you know that like, also, let's say they find their superintendent. Like every district just fire their superintendent and try to function without a leader. Still would not feed all those children. Like the numbers, it's just so it's all, and so a lot of people really feel that this is all kind of a political stunt. He's really trying to appeal to the same people that are attracted to Trump and his message and would vote for him because he's the person in power. So, as far as the change, there are some people that have commented to it. Walters has said that the reality is that his students did not know what his political background was. He said he didn't tell them what to think. He challenged them to think.
Which I would say is a great example of a teacher.
Exactly. But he also, like he does the videos and he posts on Twitter, or not Twitter, I'm so old, X, formerly known as Twitter. He posts that woke ideology is real and I am here to stop it. He was an advocate.
He was. From what I mean, I can't imagine this man being an actual teacher who people looked up to, that his students admired, from what he is today. I cannot, because he is such a sleazeball.
Yeah.
He's just such a sleazeball. I can't think of him. I can't in my mind see an image of him being what this is telling me.
Right. And so Rosencrantz, I don't know if you remember him. He was working with Walters before.
He's the Democrat.
Yes. And he felt like he was able to be working on, the value of recess and the value of play and the role it has in education and SEL education. They were working on that. COVID happened. It got shut down. And I don't think I mentioned this before, but when he came back, he started saying like, kind of using some of that verbiage, like, isn't that a little woke and stuff like that. And then, so he has commented on the change. And what he says is that Walters is very ambitious. And I think that's what took over. It leads me to believe that all of this is for a bigger purpose. We also have a comment from Rick Hess, who is the Director of Education Policy Studies at the Conservative American Enterprise Institute. I'll be honest, I didn't know who that was before I read this, but I thought, okay, this sounds like somebody who, isn't from that woke liberal Democrat side, but somebody who, would be on his side, right? He said, for an elected chief in blue and red states, unfortunately, the incentives are there to become a performer. Walters is responding to the incentives, no matter how unhealthy they may be.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so he's saying that, this is that he's being rewarded right now for these things. He's moving up in the world and being rewarded by society.
Mm-hmm.
And it just encourages and furthers these things that he's doing. And so if you think about that, yeah, that wouldn't be true to who he was as an educator, unknown, trying to work with kids. Like, he's lost touch. You're going to ask the sarcastic nine ball something, aren't you?
I am. Is this dumbass Walters going to be governor? I'm blind.
Says, ask someone who cares. Nine ball don't care. Oh, okay. So I guess from supporters also, the general synopsis is that there's outrage. The outrage from the left proves that he's been effective. So people that are in support of him, they're saying that because people are outraged, this shows Walters has been effective.
Okay, wait, what?
This is a man of principle. He has made mistake, or has he made mistakes? Possibly. This comes from a retired minister. But when you are attacked by people unjustly, there's a tendency to come out strong. So, in his view, adversity, he's a minister, old retired minister, saying that, when, like, I guess that road to righteousness, you're going to meet adversity.
Which, yes, I can agree with. Like, you're going to come across people who are like, you're making things, the status quo different. It's affecting my lifestyle. I don't like this. 100%. Righteousness, yes, you're going to come across people who don't like that. And I'm not saying otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I am saying that he's not righteous.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't count.
I mean, people can be that person that is like this change maker, and change can really elicit a pretty negative response. Change is hard, but not all change is good.
Yeah.
You really have to think about the direction.
And erasing our history or changing how it's taught is not good.
My biggest thing in the middle of all of this, and my thing that I see every day, is how it is affecting our children and how it is affecting our families. Like, it's difficult for us because it's making my job harder, but I've never seen such harmful policies to children. And that hurts. And that's where I feel like I want to be a little ratchet and stand up, because I want our family and our children to be okay.
I think people need to become ratchet. I think people in general need to be like, this is some bullshit. We're not doing that.
I do want to point out some important dates.
Okay.
So if you're listening, February 2nd in 2026, that's going to be the next legislative session, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it remains to be seen how things continue with Walters and Stitt. So
they're not wearing us right now.
No. So, like, if you're wanting to call and influence things by talking to your House of Representatives, your legislature, your Oklahoma legislature,
annoy the shit out of them.
February 13th is the date. No, February 2nd. My bad. I read the wrong thing. February 2nd. That's the next Oklahoma legislative session.
That was a new thing for me too.
Yeah. So June 16th. Oh gosh, the Oklahoma Rural Schools Coalition has started posting this on social media. But I looked it up. So June 16th, that is when next year, that's when the gubernatorial primaries.
Gubernatorial.
It's such a weird word to say.
Gubernatorial.
But
you know how many times I've listened to Google tell me how to pronounce that word?
Gubernatorial, yeah. Today's the day of being just tongue-tied. But yeah, so the primaries for the person running to be governor, that is June 16th. And if you are, so obviously if you are voting Democratic or independent, you're not going to be voting in the Republican primaries.
Which I think we should state that we are both independent voters.
We are, yes.
So we're not Republican, Democrat, we're straight down the middle, independent.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
Yes. Yes, we are. But if you are conservative voting. And if you do not agree with the way Ryan Walters has run his office of state superintendent, it's going to be really important that you get out there and that you vote because,
Yeah. But unfortunately, right now, it's only open to the Republicans.
last important date, November 3rd, is the election for governor.
All of them, everything comes out. All the seats for the Senate, the Congress, everything is up for election. Everything.
All of that. So know your politics, know who you're in favor of, because I know that for me, I've actually started doing absentee ballot election so that I can look and I can read up as I'm looking and mark it instead of trying to remember in my head and get in there and line up and
That's good.
But yeah, there's like lots of different websites you can go to that will like give both views. They'll tell you about all the candidates, and when it gets closer to all of that, we should probably put some resources out there. But get out there and vote for your governor. I really hope that we're not headed in this direction where we allow people that are performing because of their ambitious goals. I hope that that's not who we're going to be putting in office.
I honestly think that everybody needs to be voted out. Every one of them. Republican, Independent, Democrat. We just need to throw everybody else out and start new.
I don't know about that. There's some people I like.
So I think that it's just, it's crazy. We all need people more middle class, I think.
Yeah. Middle of the road. So for me, like, I don't agree with a lot of Republican policies, and just as an educator, it seems like professional suicide to vote Republican on educational issues, which is why I tend to lean more Democratic, because I'm like, that is my livelihood. Am I trying to put myself out of a job? No.
But it's not even a livelihood for you and people like you. This is your passion.
Yes, it's my everything.
Yeah.
Very passionate.
You take your work literally home with you.
Yes, I am passionate about our children and our families. And my way of being that difference maker and reaching these children and these families is to be in education and to, if you're looking at a Christian aspect, if that's the way you want to go and think about it, I think that's how you be the hands and the feet of Christ, as they would say. If you really want to be that person that's going to get out there and love and make a difference, go out to the ground floor, get out there and get get dirty, work with the families. And it is something I am incredibly passionate about. It's a life goal. So
we're just going to recap.
Yes,
Name 3 points that were most important to you in your research. 3 points, just 3.
Just 3. Okay. The 3 most important things. I think people really need to know that I think they need to understand who Ryan Walters is and to really understand the picture. He's not just some guy that came out of nowhere that was always this super right conservative. I think they need to know that this very much appears to be a performance to move up. And if your goals is ambition and yourself, you're not really representing the people.
I agree.
So that's one thing that would be my thought, is that I would ask people to just consider that aspect. Now, everybody has a right to vote how they want to vote. That's supposed to be the point of democracy, but please know what this beast is. Please be aware.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm proud of you.
Honestly,
that's your biggest point.
Yeah, that's my biggest point. I anything else I feel like saying, I feel like it's like a tangent for another day.
Okay. So apparently we're going to be doing this a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mine is, he's a clown. Ryan Walters is just a big ass clown. He's playing everybody. So be woke. See what's in front of you.
Wake up.
All right.
Wow.
That was a big one. That was very emotional.
Yes.
At least for me, it was very emotional.
Oh, it's emotional. It's emotional for me too. And I don't know. I don't know if you can tell because I get a lot of feedback that people can't tell when I'm upset.
That's very true.
Yeah. And like I'm actually really upset about this, but I also really want people to feel like they can hear me and be informed. And, you know, I mean, how do you change a heart? You create some you create knowledge and empathy and
That's why I love you. That's why I love you. It's because you've just got an amazing heart.
thank you. I love you because you're a badass. Well, all right. Like and subscribe.
Comment.
Yes,
Tell us what you think.
exactly.
You
If
can
we got
disagree.
something wrong.
Yeah.
Let us know because knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. And I can even admit if I'm wrong
Yes.
sometimes.
So here's to shouting into the void.
Shouting into the void.
I stole it. I'm sorry. You want?
No, that was great.